Saturday morning video for you guys. I was trying to do it live, and I got horrible Wi-Fi service out here in the garage. You know, one minute I got 2 bars and then it drops off. So tried to do this live yesterday, and only about 5 seconds of it loaded up. So here's take 2. I got this Benelli buzzer back here. That was my childhood first motorcycle. My grandfather bought it for me. I was probably maybe 8 years old. So that thing got put through some rough times, you know. Pretty much letting all the neighborhood kids ride it. Definitely got crashed a bunch. I don't know how many times I cracked this the top clamp for the triple clamp, but got another set of handlebars back here. My brother-in-law started to restore it, so he bought some extra parts. So I got a nice triple clamp here. It's didn't see any of my early attempts at trying to be a mechanic, so I got some citric acid up there. I think I'm going to do the citric acid dip to get the rust off some of these parts. I'm going to try to do a nice restore on it. It's not, it ain't going to be a shelf clean. I'd still like to be able to ride it, so I don't want to restore it totally mint condition to where, I don't want to ride it, but I'd like to get it cleaned up, make it a little more presentable, but I'd still like to enjoy riding it here and there, but it might be hard to get on camera. You see there, says this thing is rated at 155 miles per gallon. So we might have to test that once I get it back to running condition, because trying to remember all the riding I did as a child with it. I feel like we could ride it all week on a gallon of gas. Maybe that's not too far off, but tell you what, if you guys need any help, got any questions, if you got one of these things, you can just drop a comment. Try to help you guys out. Any of you need any of this information here in this manual. My brother-in-law bought it, so I give a little thanks to him. But I guess while we're here, just pan over a little bit. Got my turbo Honda CRF50 over here. I think it's ready for go take it on a real test ride. I'm probably gonna go take it up to famous Reading off-road. I know over at Darkwater, a couple nice straightaways I can get this thing wound out, because I can barely just wind out second gear. I can't wind out third in the yard. So it's according to the gauge, every now and then we get one pound of boost. So seems like she wants the spool, but I knew going into it that 50 cc's wasn't really wasn't going to cut it. But I figured, what the hell, I'll try it anyway, because pretty sure the dimensions on these engines are pretty similar, whether it's the 50cc or the 125. So I want to do the maiden voyage on this 50cc. Let's get some video of it, and I'll probably just end up ordering one of those cheap 125 motors, and let's see what it does with that. You know, I'm going to give it a shot with the blow-through setup on the carburetor. I know it's probably not going to be ideal if it starts making real boost with a 125cc engine, but we'll cross that road when we get there. I feel like there's enough room the way this I laid out this piping and stuff that I could put one of those EFI kits in there, but you know, I wanted to try it a little old school, see if I could get the carburetor to work. You know, it would probably work better with some kind of electric fuel pump, but I have one of those cheap inner rotor kits from eBay on there with the little, you know, quarter size flywheel on there, and there's no 12 volt output on that stator setup, so I'm running an M12 adapter right now for the digital boost and air fuel ratio gauge, and those are just cheapo ones I got on Amazon. And I got the sensor over here in the exhaust pipe, but you know, I got my oil line set up over here. That's another just, you know, cheap pit bike oil cooler setup from Amazon. Probably have to try to do another video for you guys on how I did the oil setup. I know there's an old video out there on YouTube. I can't remember the guy's name. I know I basically, you know, copied his idea with the oil setup. You know, he did the same thing. He got the cheap pit bike oil cooler setup, and then what he did and what I also did was you got to Dremel an extra gallery in there for the oil, so you can still feed oil to the camshaft. Because with the oil cooler setup, the return from the cooler is going back to the cam. So depending how you do it, you theoretically could be stealing the oil from the camshaft there. So I got it set up with, you know, a small brake line as my feed line, so I'm not getting too much pressure out of this side. But then I cheated and I did my oil return right into the front of the valve cover, because I really didn't want to go drilling this OEM Honda case. That was going to be plan B, was to run it a return to there. But you know, with this Honda CRF50 frame, there's not a lot of room to get it all in there. The first setup I had of this, I went the easy route and I just bolted the turbo straight to the head, because ironically it's kind of the same bolt pattern. So I had it set up with a draw through carb, and yeah, it ran okay. Wasn't, like I said, I wasn't able to build any real boost. You know, every now and then the gauge, you know, I'd get a 1 or a 2, but it was never really a sustained 1 or 2, you know. But so I decided to try with the blow through setup and build a little bit of an intake manifold. So I made this out of an old CO2 canister, and just kind of snaked it back here. There wasn't, again, not a lot of room on this chassis to kind of get it all to fit in there. So, but kind of all snaked in there. And we'll give a little shout out to Job's Customs. He's got a pretty cool, he's got a couple cool little turbo projects going on, but kind of borrowed his idea with this pitot tube with the valve. You can kind of manipulate the mixture on the fly, but we'll keep you posted on that. I'm probably gonna have to change the jetting again. I had it dialed in pretty good. Now that the weather changed, I'm pig rich, so I'll have to probably bring some main jets with me, because where I'm gonna go riding is definitely higher in altitude where I'm at now. But we'll see how it runs when I get up there. Maybe this week I can sneak it in, see what it does. But probably it for now, guys. Just wanted to share that couple little projects I got going on, and gonna focus on trying to get that Benelli put back together. A lot of sentimental value sitting in that thing, so it's cool to see it back in its glory, and get a little video of that going for you guys. It seems it's a common occurrence with these things, with the other videos on YouTube, that a bunch of guys want to get one again because their father gave them one as a kid, or the grandfather. And it's the same story with me. My grandfather bought me that as a kid, and now he's gone, so it's cool to see it back in its glory. But that's all for you guys. Again, if you got any questions that I can help answer in that manual on the Benelli, be happy to answer them. And stay tuned for more. Alright guys, so here's a quick shot of the oil line setup. Those are just some random fittings that I had laying around that were the same thread. And that's the cheap pit bike oil cooler adapter. I got that one on Amazon. And like I said, I did modify the inside of it so it would still feed oil to the camshaft. And I was getting pressure from the bottom port, and that's how I kind of did the return. I just drilled and tapped that front valve cover, and I did a little hokey with compression fittings, because I'm not great with the AN style fittings, but I think I'm gonna source out the correct AN fittings and kind of redo the return line if and when I get around to putting this setup on like a 125 motor or engine. So I'm gonna get a couple test runs with how I have it currently set up, but plan B was always to get a cheap 125 engine and send that to the moon. But just wanted to kind of clip in a little bit of how I did the oil line and the return,